It's time to alert the mainstream media about the 2012 Bilderberg meeting happening in Chantilly, Virginia from May 31st through June 3rd. We're actually not really alerting them. We are just urging them, pressuring them to finally cover the Bilderberg meeting and the protest that's happening this year, where there will no doubt be hundreds of people in attendance. I will be one of them. Specifically, it's located at the address on the bottom of your screen. So what we need to do is flood the newsrooms with tips and requests and detailed information about the protest and urge them to actually cover it. Now, I have sent out literally hundreds of press releases to news agencies around the country informing them of the protest, and so now it's time for phase 2, where we call them and urge them to cover it. So in the description section of this video below, you will find the phone numbers to all of the big 24-hour cable news stations and the local ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox affiliates in Chantilly, Virginia, or the Washington, D.C. area, which I have also called and contacted. So let's call them, pressure them, alert them about the Bilderberg blackout. And so later on this year, in the coming weeks and months, when they say, oh, well, we covered it. Oh, see, I don't know what this big cover-up is. See, we're talking about it. Oh, really, we're talking about the last few decades. Many people wonder how the Bilderberg Group has been able to maintain this blackout. Well, numerous reasons. They own the media, and they also claim it's a national security event that they don't be talked about and that they're not in the news. And in 1975, there was a committee designed to investigate the CIA's influence over the media. And they uncovered that the CIA was spending at that time $250 million a year paying off the editors of the major media outlets to not talk about certain stories and to actually plant stories and to publish propaganda. It's a code named Operation Mockingbird. Oh, you don't believe me? Really? Okay, well, here is an actual video clip from the hearing itself.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
It gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
At CBS, we had been contacted by the CIA. As a matter of fact, by the time I became the head of the whole news and public affairs operation in 1954, the ships had been established, and I was told about them and asked if I'd carry on with them.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national news services, AP and UPI?
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Yeah, and what's even more interesting is that the former president of CBS News said that, well, I'm sure that this still goes on today, but they have to be a little more careful about it.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations of the period of the 1970s, it seems to me that a reporter's got to be much more circumspect in doing it now, or he runs the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public. I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
Oh, isn't that interesting? The CIA manipulating the mainstream media in America under the disguise of national security. Yes. And what's also interesting, maybe some people didn't know, that CNN's Anderson Cooper did an internship with the CIA, but then said he just didn't want to work with them. CNN's Anderson Cooper, the same guy that likes to dress up in sadomasochism and bondage gear, you know, the kind of person that you would want to represent a mainstream media outlet, you know, like CNN, the most trusted name in sadomasochism, news. So this year, as last year, we got a little bit of coverage last year because the Drudge Report, for the second year in a row last year in 2011, really covered the Bilderberg Group. And as I'm making this video, the Drudge Report has already been tweeting out and posting links to polls and other articles about the Bilderberg Group this year. So it's going to be pretty much impossible for anybody to deny that they exist. So there's probably going to be a lot of mainstream coverage, and they'll just say, oh, conspiracy theorists claim it's a secret group, and that making all these allegations attacking us. But ask yourself this question: why haven't they covered it in the past? Why did it take all of a sudden the pressure from social media, the pressure from hundreds of people calling Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, calling the local Chantilly and DC affiliates to cover this event, that they finally actually did? Because you can't say that this is not newsworthy. Every year, the G8 meetings, the G20 meetings, it's big news around the world. And the Bilderberg Group is even more powerful, has more elite politicians, banksters, media moguls going there, but it's just not newsworthy. So obviously, there is a collaboration, has been an agreement between the Bilderberg Group and nearly every major media outlet and propagandist, Sean Hannity, Alan Colmes, everybody, these talking heads, these top, Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, to pretend that they don't know anything about it. Wait, you think that somebody like Sean Hannity, one of the number 2 radio show hosts in the country, would probably be familiar with the Bilderberg Group, right?
Anyway, thanks for the call, Mark, KFMB, San Diego. Next, Sean Hannity Show. How are you, Mark?
Pretty good, but with all this economic crises going on and everybody looking for answers and blame, I was wondering if you could talk about the Bilderberg Group and the role that they play in the global economy and geopolitics.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's go to Amy in Cincinnati, 55 KRC. What's up, Amy?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. I just wanted to let you know you're a great American.
Thank you, you're a great American.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. I just expected you to kind of know these things since it's, kind of important. But so we will probably get mainstream coverage, but let's not forget that they have been complicit. The Bilderberg blackout, these mainstream media mockingbirds, have just pretended that it doesn't exist for decades until the pressure got too great this year when they had to cover it and just throw up their hands and admit that it exists. It's a real meeting. It's super powerful people. Oh, but we're just not sure what happens in there. But why is it CNN, MSNBC, Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, Alan Colmes, why is it that you guys didn't see the importance in this, well, for the last 10, 20 years? Well, the answer is obvious, that they're on the payroll. They don't want to talk about them. It's on the blacklist of things you're not supposed to talk about. But we can win. You see, social media, the pressure of the masses. So this is going to be a very interesting year for Bilderberg. So please call any or all of the news organizations listed down in the comments section below in the description, and let's pressure them, urge them to finally cover it, and let's blow the Bilderberg's cover once and for all. Bilderberg 2012, I will be there.